Hey everyone, my name is Courtney and this is What's for Din. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my banana nut bread recipe. This is super moist, decadent, delicious of course, and when you're baking it, it makes your house smell like heaven. So let's go over the ingredients and we'll get started. Okay, so the obvious ingredient would be bananas. Now I know what you're thinking. What in the world is wrong with my bananas? Well, actually there's nothing wrong. And this is a trick that my great grandma taught me, is that your bananas, whenever you're making a pie or a bread or a cake that has bananas in it, use them when they're super ripe and they're like almost black. You don't want them rotten, of course, but you want them really dark because then they're more sweet and they make your bread way more moist. And I've tried it because I've done it with not ripe bananas, well, not ripe that way, but I've done it with bananas that are like almost there and then bananas like this. This takes the cake. So you need bananas, some chopped walnuts, chocolate chips is a little secret ingredient that I like to use, flour, baking soda, baking powder, eggs, a tiny bit of milk, vanilla extract, sugar, and butter. So let's start the first step. So we have our bananas here all unpeeled and in this bowl. As you can see, they look very ripe and that's just the way we want them. So we're just going to take our masher and mash these really nice. And you'll find that they get a little bit watery. But just keep mashing them until they're nice and mashed. Okay, that's about the consistency you want. So we're just going to set that aside. And then we're going to work on the other part. So we have our butter in here. Now it should be softened, but I accidentally melted it in the microwave. Oh well, it's okay. Then we're going to put in our sugar. And we're going to cream that together. Okay, and now we're going to incorporate our eggs. I'm just going to do them both at the same time. We all know what happens when I try to do one at a time. It never, ever, ever, ever works for me. So get these all in there. All right, now that that's light and fluffy, we're going to add just a little bit of milk, a tablespoon or so. Our vanilla extract. As you can see, I don't really measure, but I like a lot of vanilla. Mix that in. Okay, now to this, we're going to add our bananas that we mashed. And it's going to look kind of funky because there's a lot of water in these bananas. And it doesn't like to mix well with the butter, but it will come together, so just keep mixing it. Set that aside. So I'll incorporate that. Okay, and now we're going to add our walnuts. These are just chopped walnuts. And the secret is a little bit of chocolate chips. You don't have to do this, but I just find that it makes it taste even better. It's not enough to make it count as chocolate chip banana bread, but it's just enough to add a little something. Okay, just mix that together. Okay, we're going to set this aside and work on our dry ingredients. Okay, so now we're going to work on our dry ingredients, and I just have a little sift here. You don't have to use this. You can just whisk everything together and get all the clumps out. It's the same thing. So we just put our flour in and our baking soda and baking powder. Now usually if you're using unsalted butter you would use salt here, but I use salted butter and I just omit the salt. It's just easier that way and I never have a problem with it. So sift this together. Woo! It's a cloud of flour. You see it gets all the clumps out and that's super smooth. Okay, so now we're going to incorporate, oh, all my walnuts are stuck in there, it's all right, stay. All right, into our mixture, I'm going to put a little bit of flour at a time and keep mixing. Don't want to over mix it. Mix it just till it's combined. So I'm just going to fold this in. And I'm going to add the rest. Burp the baby. And just keep folding it using a folding motion. Make sure to get the bottom. Like I said, be careful. You do not want to overmix it. You want to mix it just till it's incorporated, and I want to make sure I got all the flour off the sides. All right, so you can still see a little bit of flour bits, but that's okay. I don't want to overmix it or else it'll make it really tough. All right, so I have a greased loaf pan, and we're just going to plop that right in there. I have to go sideways, sorry, otherwise it'll spill all over the place. This banana nut bread, I'm telling you, is just so moist, and you have to trust me about the brown bananas. It's an old farmer trick that my great-grandma taught me, and I will not make banana nut bread any other way. So we're going to smooth that out. Okay, and now to get any air bubbles out of it, we're going to shake it and tap it. Do this a few times and just get the air bubbles out. All right, that should be good. So now we're going to throw this in a 325-degree oven for about an hour to an hour and 10 minutes, and then we'll see what it looks like when it comes out. All right, so I took the bread out of the oven, and it was only in there for about an hour, and this is how you'll be able to tell if it's done. You stick a clean knife in, and you pull it out, and if it comes off clean, you're good. Obviously, there's some chocolate chip on there, so if you hit a chocolate chip, then you know, you'll see that. But other than that, it's good to go. Don't bake it any more than you need to because then it'll dry it out. So we're going to let this cool for about an hour, 2 hours, as long as you can possibly cool it until it's completely cooled, and then we'll try it out. Okay, so now it's been cooling for about 2 hours, and so I'm going to cut it open and try it. Take the butt end off, but this is, you can hear it, it's like crispy. Look how nice and, oh, that looks pretty. Do a little piece. Okay, that looks delicioso. Let's try it out. I want to get right in the center where that chocolate chip is. Good as usual. Really moist. The chocolate chips help it stand out a little bit better. This is one of my favorite recipes, and I really hope you make this. But one thing I will say, this gets better as time goes by. I like to wrap this up in like cling wrap or whatever, stick it in the microwave, and I don't turn on the microwave, but that's just where I store it. And for some reason, I don't know why, it just tastes way better after it's been sitting in there. And I don't know if it's just because the moisture it gets more moist. I don't know what happens, but it just gets better and better every single day. So I hope you enjoyed spending time with me, and follow me, subscribe, you know, all those things that YouTubers say at the end. Do that. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.